Am I really
Whose life
happy?
are
What
you
do I
living?
want to be known
What
for?
is my
What is my
legacy? How can I
deepest
get
fear in
over
life?
Hi, I'm Natalie Lemus, and this is my journey and lessons from my own life. The Journey. Hey friends, thanks for tuning in. That last video was a little intense and just really appreciate you guys giving me all the love, the comments. You're amazing and just wanted to give you some gratitude. So thank you and let's dive in. What shifted everything? Sometimes it's like something happens to somebody else that you love and you almost have you have your own experience of something that happened to somebody else that you love. So my mom, this was in must have been 2012. If you've known my mom, you will agree with me that she's one of the strongest, most bold, most powerhouse humans that's ever walked Earth. And so I saw her like that my whole childhood. I always saw her overcoming. I always saw her leading. I always saw her, to me, she was like superhuman. Like Wonder Woman, but even more badass than Wonder Woman. Because Wonder Woman and a mom and a badass businesswoman. And we go to this convention and we're sitting at the Hard Rock Cafe right across from the convention center. And she started to say all this stuff like, Natalie, something's wrong with me. She said, something's wrong with me. And I don't know what it is. And she said, I'm dragging my foot and I'm stumbling across over my words. And, my handwriting's smaller, my hand's trembling. And she's like, have you noticed anything? And I said, well, yeah. Let's get real. Do you really want to notice something about your parent? Do you really, really want to notice something's going awry? Or do you just want to keep on trucking through life? I just wanted to creep on trucking through life. This wasn't supposed to happen. I wasn't supposed to have this conversation with my mom the first year into joining the business. This wasn't the plan. And so that set my mom off on this whole other trajectory where she started to really dive into figuring out what was going on in her health. Until 2014, it became not ambiguous. And she received a diagnosis of Parkinson's, which she categorically rejected, did not take drugs, and started on this whole health journey to heal herself naturally without any pharmaceuticals. And I'll tell you right now, that one thing, I almost can't even put it into words how crushing, scary, absolutely frightening that it was to see your hero as a human, to know that life would never be the same. And somewhere along in that time frame, I asked myself that question, that exact question, whose life am I living? And I can tell you that at that point, I wasn't living my life anymore. I was living a version. I'm not saying I wasn't living somebody else's life. I was living a version of my life. I was living part of the version of my life. I wasn't living my full life. It wasn't I, had this vision to create this company, from zero. I definitely had the vision to expand it. I still have the vision to help it grow and to bring amazing people into it to help it expand. But at that that moment, at that crossroads, that question became extremely important to me because there were other aspects of my life, of my vision that I wasn't living. That I had convinced myself that if I started to show up in this other way, coaching, leading, teaching, doing events, speaking, that somehow it was going to invalidate what I was doing over here, or somehow people weren't going to take me seriously anymore in the real estate and being the CEO of this property management company. And I felt like I couldn't live my own life. Like I couldn't expand out of the box that I walked into, and then like suddenly I was the box. You know what I mean? Like I walked into the box and that was fun. Like walking into the box was fun. It was creative. I was learning, I was growing. And then the second that like I became the box, I was like, dude, I don't want to be the box. Like I don't want to be a box. Yeah, so that question of whose life are you living? I mean, I struggled with that for years. Once I became the box, once my mom stopped being the box anymore and encompassing that realm, and it was me, then I felt stifled. Then I felt like, oh, I could never be a different box. Hope that makes sense. I know. I'm just curious. Share it with your family, business friends, and anyone else that you think would glean some value from this journey that I'm sharing. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Bye.